Wife cooks for her blind husband but gouges out the eye of a fish every time. The husband, completely unaware, enjoyed his meals immensely every day.
Mine now.
But aside, his wife gave a strange smile. It turns out that even though Jack can't see, he's a very handsome man. Even with his crutches, he was still hit on by women passing by. And the strange thing is, when they saw Jack, they would always say something meaningful.
見たらきっといろんなことがわかるでしょうね。
Although Jack had been puzzled, he hadn't thought much of it. But one day, a beautiful young woman came to his massage parlor. It's this beautiful woman who will soon influence Jack's life. While Jack was concentrating on her massage, she suddenly sat up, stared intensely into Jack's eyes, and sighed, remarking that if it weren't for his blindness, his wife would not deserve him. Jack was puzzled, but before he could react, the young woman got up again and said, "There's a statue of Buddha in the temple down the mountain. If you pray to him every day, you'll get your wish in 100 days.
あんたも新人してみたら。
Jack was really deep in thought after hearing this. When he got home that night, he told his wife. Jack decided to visit the temple to pray for the restoration of his sight. Unexpectedly, his wife's face paled when she heard it.
何を？
お前の顔だね。
Hearing this answer, Lisa's face instantly became gloomy. It turned out that the husband had been blind for 30 years, so he didn't know what his wife looked like. The wife feared that once he regained his sight, he would surely dislike her ugly face. That's why she gouged out the eyes of her sardine every day. It's a curse that he'll be like this fish and never see the light of day. Now, knowing her husband was curious about her appearance, she made a tentative joke.
でも嫌いにならないでくださいね。
それはわからないな。
Unbeknownst to him, his answer gave Lisa a bold thought. In order to restore her eyesight, Jack went to the temple alone the next morning. He threw in a coin and prayed for his eyes to be restored, but he would soon regret it. When a male neighbor learned about it, he advised him not to get his hopes up too high.
どうしてです？
Then the neighbor told him, a long time ago, his wife also went to the temple to pray, but it didn't work, did it? Shocked, Jack didn't understand why his wife never mentioned this. However, the neighbor didn't think much of it and explained.
気を合わせると思ってどう思ってたんだろう。
Despite the neighbor's words, Jack's suspicions grew, but as we approached the 100th day, in order to avoid any complications, he didn't ask his wife about it, but continued to go to the temple every day to pray. That day, it was finally the last day. Jack went to the statue of Buddha as usual. This time, he closed his eyes and folded his hands, praying harder than ever. After praying from dawn till dusk, he opened his eyes. Jack tried to look around, but to his surprise, he still couldn't see. Jack was devastated. He returned home in a state of despair, complaining to his wife that his efforts had been in vain. But before he knew it, the stone in his hand for prayer suddenly fell to the ground. While Jack was bending down to pick it up, suddenly there was a bright light in front of his eyes, and then a miracle happened. Jack's eyes were restored.